link out to Moby Math that I use, a list for websites that deal with math, and then a chapter review from my book. And right now I'm trying to work on the chapter review, and I had it set up. What I basically want when I go to a chapter, I want them to have like a YouTube video, a PowerPoint, and then a PDF for practice. I'm just trying to figure out the best way if I want to build an actual web page for each of those sections, or if I should link it to something in a file. And I'm not sure. I want it to just be quick, make it easy for the kids to get to. Otherwise, it's, I don't have to go look for this or look for that. So that's where I'm at with that right now, is just trying to find which one I want to actually go with.
Now, if you had it click over to another site, what site would you click over to?
The site that I use, I already have that, and I've already checked that out. It goes right over to their login, because my kids, I use something called Moby Math, and what it is the kids all have access to it, and that way they can go through my website and get it from home, and then they can practice at home. What I like about the Moby Math is it's geared towards the students' math ability. Some students are, even though I have them in 5th grade, they're sort of 3rd grade level, so the Moby Math lets them work at that level and fills the holes that they're missing in each grade level. And I'm trying to encourage the kids to use it at home when they have access to it, but a lot of them tell me that they can't get on, they forgot their password, so I want to make sure that on my site, I have some place for them to click on to get to it right away.
Yeah, I was interested in seeing, like you had mentioned that you had sketched out your entire site, and so I was interested to see what exactly it was that you were sketching out in particular.
You mean you want to see the drawing?
No, just what were the categories that you were most interested in?
Well, what I basically want is it's mainly a math site, but I also get into assignments where we can start going online. And what I want to do is be able to incorporate like the forums and the Google Forms. And now that we've done a couple of the drop-down menus where the kids can click and the icebreaker like that, but I want to be able to do some of it with some math problems, like what are the answers? Here are the 5 choices you got for answer, or 4 choices you got for answer on the assignment page. I want to be able to do that. I want to be able to go online and have them do like just a quick 5 questions at home, and that might be their homework. And then that turns right in and it can feed right back to me, so that that night or the next day I can look at that data real quick and say, okay, they got this part of the lesson. This part of the lesson they don't. I'm going to start this next lesson with a quick review of where they're still struggling. So I wanted to have a page like that so that I can instantly get feedback from them, and all that stuff will be stored into my Google Drive. And as I said, the other page, the math page, the chapter review, that's mainly for students also, but also for parents that are helping their kids, so that they sometimes, I'll get a lot of, I haven't done this in a while, I forgot how to do it. It's for them to go back and look at a quick video or a quick PowerPoint to get the step-by-step instructions on how to do that. And I also want that in place for those kids that are sick. I can say, hey, go online, go to chapter 6. We're learning about least common denominator today. Look at the PowerPoint, go through the video, and that should explain it. And anything that you did not understand, I will fill in tomorrow for you, but it'll keep them somewhat on pace with us. Is that what you were asking?
Yeah, that was. You got several things that you want to do.
Fred, that sounds awesome.
Well, that's where I'm going. That's why it's going to be ready next year. I'm still working on it, Mark. Thanks.
Yeah, that's why the last question on the questionnaire that I sent out to you yesterday was, what are your plans for the summer? Because I know a lot of us have a lot that we want to do over the summer. My idea was just to kind of have you think that through one last time and kind of maybe put a little checklist together and say, yeah, these are the things that I hope to accomplish in the next 90 days or 3-4 months. Because we all have that list at this point. I think I just got muted. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine.
Okay, yeah. Someone muted my mic. It said Kana muted my microphone. Not sure how that happened. All right, we're going to look at a couple things. It looks like it's a little past 7. We'll get started. Right now, my first thing that I want to say is that we have 2 weeks left, and that needs to be foremost in our minds if it's not already, right? So we have hopefully not too much stress, but I know that there's going to be stress knowing that in the next 2 weeks we're done. Next Friday, May 9th, is our last day. So that needs to be the number one thing that we at least mention right off the bat. So I know a lot of us are going to spend more time than we want in the next 2 weeks doing BLiC, but hopefully it'll be worthwhile for you as we finish up. There's the assessment piece for 7, and then we're just going to be kind of cleaning up some stuff right at the end, basically thinking about the things that I sent out to you yesterday. How do we synthesize what we've learned so far, and then what's our plan moving forward? So I do want to show you something that I put together. We are starting with Chapter 6, or Module 6 is Universal Design for Learning, UDL, keeping the student in mind. What's the one thing that freaks you out most about Universal Design for Learning? Mark, give me your what worries you most about doing that? As cool as an idea as it is.
About doing what, David?
Universal Design for Learning, making our videos accessible to people with multiple disabilities.
Oh, I think that once it becomes second nature, it will not be a problem. I installed the dictation function on my Mac laptop, and so I was going to it took a long time to download because it was a really big program, and I was going to try to use that to read it so I wouldn't have to type everything and put that right in to be transcribed on YouTube. So
did you use
it was
like Dragon?
No, it's a program in the Mac itself. So something that's native to their stuff.
So that's voice to text.
Yes. So I was thinking that would be a way to kind of streamline the process a little bit.
Yeah, I've definitely played with Dragon on my cell phone, and it works pretty well. A couple big words it'll mess up sometimes, but I've been playing with it this week because I was reminded of it with Module 6, and it is pretty cool. I did some dictation of my notes, and with a couple of errors, but no big deal.
Mm-hmm. I was thinking that I could probably, just as I record the video, hold it up to or connect the microphone somehow and let the video do all the talking too, and just kind of sit back.
That's pretty interesting.
So we'll see what happens. I ran out of time, so I've just been playing catch up like crazy. So almost there.
Did you have a chance to subtitle a video, right?
Yeah. Yep, that's turned in.
What program did you use for that?
I ended up downloading an app called Explain Everything. Yeah. It's really cool, very easy to use. Apple, I liked it.
When I saw that on your, I don't remember whether it was your reflection or what piece that was. I think it was on the grid that you turned in. I went and checked that out. I watched a 4-minute video that Apple produced for it, and it looks really simple to use. And just really, I know it has everything all in a small little tight package.
Exactly. There was a few that I was looking at, like there's the Show Me, and this one seemed to have a little more kind of an arty feel. There was some more colors. I don't know. First go with it was good for me, so I liked it.
Good. Yeah, several of us said that we're going to be using or have been using Show Me as a screencast app. Does anyone besides me? I use Camtasia all the time. Does anyone else use Camtasia? Definitely not free.
Yes, I saw because I downloaded the Snagit, and then there was a package to get Snagit and Camtasia, and it was like $329, and they were saying that was a good deal.
Yeah.
Like, whoa, I don't think so.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really easy to use. You can edit really cleanly, really easily. But yeah, when it comes to what we're going to purchase and what we're not going to purchase, we have to be careful because it can add up fast.
Absolutely. So I'll stick with the $2.99 apps.
Even when it comes to, and this is for everybody, when it comes to doing the subtitles, even your PC comes with, I want to say, Movie Maker. That's free. If you go to your start menu on the older ones, you pull up and Movie Maker will be in there, and it's a really easy way to underline your videos or subtitle. I'm going to show you a video that I did. I'm going to get it going first, and then I will do a screen share here. I think I have to log in and log out of my site here. So give me 1 second, and I'm going to show you one of the things that I did for my Spanish class as an example to share. We had a lot of fun with it, me and Ed, last summer. I have a really fast computer and it's still not super fast. Okay, I'm going to go to screen share. And one of the things I have wanted to do for a long time was have someone do sign language for every one of my vocabulary lists in my Spanish class. There's a pedagogy called Total Physical Response, or TPR. And then there's TPRS, which is Total Physical Response Storytelling. And I like to tell stories, so I tell stories a lot in my class. And the idea of the TPR is if your students do an action, it activates a part in their brain that helps them to remember the verb. So this is one of the things that I did. I'm going to do a screen share here. And this always ends up going into multiple things. Okay, can you see like the grid there? Can you guys see my?
Yes.
Okay, thanks. This is Ed. I took all 1,500 words in my vocabulary, and he sign languaged them 30 at a time for each week. We do 30 words a week. And this was done just on a free program that came with my computer already.
Formar, desarrollar, cambiar.
We'll go back now here. How do I turn this off? There we go. We back in? You can see me? So the idea of that was using subtitles to help teach even Spanish to listening students. So they could listen to the Spanish, see the English, which would allow them to learn both, and then at the same time they could see someone sign the word. So if there were a deaf student in my class, I could take the English out and subtitle it with the Spanish word, and they could see the sign and the Spanish at the same time. So I just wanted to share that with you as a way of one more way that you could use the subtitling in your classroom. We don't have very many.
David, have you had students that are deaf before?
I've not. And if I did, it would be easy for me to go in and subtitle all those with Spanish as the subtitle. But I did it as hearing people, and I wanted them to hear the Spanish and see the English and then see the sign that went along with that word. So it's pretty cool. We did it just 1 week this week. I wanted to practice it with my students, and their homework was watch the video and learn the 30 signs that went with each vocabulary. And it's pretty cool. At the end of the week, I could just do the sign, and my students would say the Spanish. And so I would do the 30 signs, and they would give me the Spanish. And so what Ed and I are going to do this summer is with each vocabulary list, I write a story. And the students have to read the story, and I will record the story that they can get online. I put the story online so they can see the story and hear the story. That's a big advantage of blended learning now, is I can actually record the story for them whenever they want, and they can listen to it whenever they want. And now next year, what Ed's going to do is he's going to sign the stories, and so when they watch the signs, they'll be able to say the Spanish as he signs the stories. It's going to be pretty cool. So we're looking forward to doing that this summer for them. And this could only really be possible with blended learning. As we record the videos, we get everything recorded, posted up online, and then our students, whenever they want, multiple times, can watch a video and be prepared for class the next day. So a lot of fun. I just threw that out at you as one way that you can use subtitles. We can start to really think outside the box now. We don't have to think inside the box, and this is opening up all sorts of new things for us to be able to do. And once I realized I was going to be able to put stuff online, my mind just took off, and I know all of our minds have just taken off throughout the semester, and it's going to be fun this summer to see how we all pull it together. Universal design for learning basically is we have to design our lessons as broadly as possible. If we can do a lesson that a hard of hearing person or someone who has visual issues or any of the different disabilities or challenges that they see, can we do a lesson that will meet as many needs as possible? And really the challenge is time. There's no question about that. Just to even make these videos took, about 150 hours to make that set of videos. So it's no small thing. It does take time. But once you have it for the next year. And you build and you build and you build. So it's going to be kind of fun to see how this goes. So Universal Design for Learning was a big part of Module 6. Module 7 is assessment. There have been several of us who have started Module 7. Has anyone given an online assessment? I want you to, I'm starting to read some chats down on the side. Anybody done online assessments? Tune in, let me know. Nobody? A couple of us have. Carrie, have you done any online assessment yourself? Where you have your kids do a quiz maybe online and then see the results? Can you hit your mic there, Carrie? Can you hear me? Carrie, can you hear me? There we go.
Yeah, no, I haven't done anything online yet. I just got started on Module 7 and was hoping to get something started here. I found a web tool that I thought would work really well with formative assessment, and I came into some glitches, and I've come to the conclusion I just need more time to, play with it and see how it really works, before I really, test it out. So.
What are you playing with?
I came across a tool called Padlet, where I thought I would be able to take. What I want to do is take some text and take a math problem and then stick it on there, and then have the kids be able to interact by putting their responses to it on it. And I found out it wasn't really compatible with the text that I was using. I was trying Microsoft Word. I might give Google Docs a try and see if that works. If not, I want to do a little research and see what I can use on it. Now, it did tell me a little bit later, I did a little, goofing on the side with it. It did tell me I could post video content. So it might be a case of I might have to present something that, say, on a YouTube video and then stick it on there and then do it. So, like I said, time and play with it a little bit. Trial and error. That's kind of like how I get to work things out. So
that's how we're all doing it right now, right?
Yep.
Has anyone? Does your district have Skyward, Carrie?
Yeah, we have Skyward, and I haven't done it. I haven't used it much with just, posting grades and stuff. I haven't really gotten into any of the other aspects of it. that'd be something I might want to check with some of my co-teachers I work with, because they seem to interact with it more than I do.
Yeah,
So,
check it out. 2 years ago, I created my final exam on Skyward and had my kids bring their iPods in because everyone had an iPod 2 years ago. Now they all have
mhm.
iPhones, you know.
Right.
But all my students had one, and it took about an hour to take the exam. It was automatically put in my grade book, scored, and I was done with the year. I didn't have to touch it. It was really impressive.
That's awesome.
It was very nice. Um, Now I only did it. Well, I did it a couple of times. I did it on 2 tests leading up to the final just to make sure it worked. I didn't want to screw up the final exam. But they'd
Mhm.
already taken a couple of tests, multiple choice, short answer, true and false. So you could do different things. And just to have them do everything automatically, have it automatically put in the grade book for the parents to see immediately was really cool. It took some
Mhm.
time to set up, but like everything, if you use it twice, it's to your benefit. And they have like a library of your questions, so you can create new tests based on the questions that you've already created. So
Yeah, our fifth grade classrooms, we just started a few weeks ago, allowing students to bring their own devices in, and we've been having them use it for like, um, in writing class, we were having them use it to look up information for their writing project. I know when they had their SAM hour at school, the kids are doing enrichment type activities with it. So that might be something, since we're already having the kids bring in tools. I know we got probably, I guess, like a third of them bringing stuff in of some form. Might look into that and to see if something like that could work and they could use their own tools to help, besides the other things we have. We only have 9 or 10 Chromebooks we've been able to buy just for our rooms, but, with those combined, it might be something we could look into.
yeah, I think bring your own device is going to be ultimately the answer to one-to-one learning and blended learning. It just so many students now have them, especially once you get into the high school level. I might have 2 or 3 kids an hour that don't have a cell phone. That's a smartphone. We have well over $500,000 worth of cell phones at Heritage High School, so it's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
If you want to go make some money, you steal every cell phone of every kid. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
So they have the devices, and that's really a way to go. And for those of us who have had computers in our classrooms before, we end up not being a teacher as much as we end up being a computer technician. We end up fixing the computers or fixing the iPads or whatever it is. But it's good to have a handful in your classroom, because there will be a handful of students, even at the high school level, who don't have a device and they need to have one.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks.
Good. Yep. So there's a lot of questions when it comes to online assessment. The biggest one is, can kids cheat? And the answer is yes. They can be on your quiz site and then go find the answer in Google, or have their friends email answers back and forth. And kids are pretty slick about being able to cheat. There are a couple. I want to say Blackboard has a site where you can freeze that web page so that when they're taking the quiz, during the time of the quiz, they can't go to another website. So there are some advanced learning management systems that have some of those features to make sure that the integrity of the test is there. It's no easy thing programming wise to do that, so that's why I'm pretty sure it's Blackboard that's done that. And someone said they're using course sites, and they might be able to do that on course sites. So we got universal design for learning. It takes time to do it. It's good that we are introduced to it, and we'll be considering how to make our websites more and more accessible to all students. And when it comes to assessment, online assessment can be tricky, and many of us are just being introduced to it. The upside is we can duplicate the test usually over and over. But students, there's a lot of research at this point that are also saying that students prefer to do things with pen and paper. There are certain things they like to do. And testing is one of those, and actually reading is one of those as well. For as much as we have e-texts and e-books, research shows that we retain information better and we enjoy the experience more if we actually read a book. Now, that's not true for everybody. But when it comes to blended learning, giving a paper and pencil test can still be a real advantage from the psychological viewpoint of the student. So keep that in mind. As we push stuff online, it's important that we kind of look into research, see what's out there so far. How are students responding to the blended learning environments that are already being created? So if you ever have a question on, is online assessment better than paper and pencil assessment, do a Google search and see what you come up with. There's going to be some PDF research files that might be helpful for you to answer some of those questions. Whatever question it is, they're starting to have some legitimate research that's going to help you, guide you, to let you know what decisions you should be making in your blended learning environment. Okay, that's assessment. When it comes to the end of the year, I'm going to switch back over to share screen here. We'll do full screen share. Can you see my screen now? I'll take that as a yes. So this is module 8. In this last module, participants are going to summarize your areas of strength and areas for growth as you continue being a blended learning teacher, and you're going to synthesize what you've learned so far in the course, and you're going to identify goals and your final plan moving forward. So those were the questions that I really had for you that I emailed to you yesterday. They're based on those 3 elements as we finish off the course. I'm going to come back in again to the full screen. See if we can get back. Are we back here? Okay. I wanted to spend the majority of the hour. We only have a half hour left here anyway. And Carrie, I'm going to start with you, and I'm going to have you choose the next person. There's several of us here, all online. There are 5 of us down on the bottom of the screen, and there are some others that have joined us. Carrie, we're going to start with you. What environment have you chosen? Who's your main target? Is it parents, teachers, students, administrators? Who are you trying to target with the site that you've created? And what's the main benefit that you see for all of this blended learning that we've been doing? What are the main benefits for you? What sites have you chosen? Who's your main audience? And what are your plans for the summer? You've already mentioned a little bit of that, but give us a brief summary on those questions. Carrie, we'll start with you.
Great. I've been working with Weebly, getting a site put together. I'm still 50-50 on that right now. I might switch here when summer starts up and go a different direction. Haven't really made that decision yet, but what I have planned so far is my target audience, obviously my students. I want them to have a site to go to get extra information, help. I've chosen math as the first goal area I want to look at working with. I've noticed some of my students, I work with a group of students after school on Wednesdays. We kind of like do a little math group, so to speak. And some of the questions are, really didn't understand that lesson. I need a little bit more help in this. So I want them to have a site that they can go to from home that they can check out extra videos, maybe some questions or some things I can put on there via the tools that I've learned from this course to give them extra information and helping them get through their problems with the math that they're doing. And then just add to it as I go along. I eventually want to do some things with ELA with it, and something else I want to also do is take something that I started at school this year too, which is kind of like a challenge type math problem thing that I do with the students. Give them a page to go to where they can do stuff at any time, really, that they can interact with the internet, and kind of hopefully get some of those higher order thinking skills going with them when it comes to math right now. And then the summer, my plans are to find, I guess, that site, that tool I want to use that's really the best, for me to get this information delivered to the kids. and then just fine tune it. Like I said, research some of the tools I found, get really familiar with them so I can use them on a daily basis, and then just try to keep getting that site built right up so where the kids can use it on a daily basis. That's my plans.
Good. You got your work cut out for you.
Fred, you want to go next?
Everybody hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay. Kind of a thing along the same lines as Carrie. First of all, my target audience is my students, with my parents also involved. I get a lot of parents that tell me they don't understand this math. It's all new to them, and I think it's just they haven't done it in a long time. They just need a refresher course. So, like Carrie, my website is geared towards math, and my hope is that it just becomes an extension of my classroom, so that the kids have access to me or through my website, at least maybe 16 hours a day. In my website, I plan on making it interactive. As if when you see my website, the first page you'll come to, there's a part that deals specifically with the math book. There's a part that's set up for calendar assignments to keep parents and students apprised of what's going on in the classroom, kind of like the daily planner. And the third aspect is news that's affecting, let's say, 5th grade. As you take the next level down, they'll break into sub-pages on their own, specifically the math book. When you click on the link from the math book, it will break down to 3 sections. The first section breaks down to a chapter review. And again, with the chapter review, that's going to, click on that, it'll open up to the chapters, into each lesson that's in the chapter. And when you click on a chapter lesson, you're going to get a video, most likely a YouTube video, explaining what's going on. For instance, the first one is with place values to 1 million. There's a YouTube video for how to deal with place values through 1 million. There's also a section in there for PowerPoint, and then a PDF file so that the student can practice. I like that aspect, as if they missed the class because they're sick or they've been out for 3 days, and I put on the calendar, this is what we did in this class today. They can go back to the chapter review page and pull up, okay, so they worked with place value, and this is what they did. Then they can review it at home and have a pretty good understanding when they come back to this class, and then I can follow up with anything that needs to be finished. The second part of that page is a link page to different websites that involve math, whether they're games or different places, maybe math vocabulary. And the third part of that page I've set aside for going through my website to get to another program that I use called MobiMath, which the students are able to work at their own pace, filling holes in their math skills. And it's a nice program for the aspect that it allows them to work at their own pace and with feedback. And if they are struggling, they can message me right through the program and say, Mr. Brissett, I need help with this. That's the main focus of that page. There is, through the assignment page, I haven't figured out how to do it yet. I want to link up where I can use some Google Forms to have assignments completed, and they can pick that right up off the calendar. They log onto the Google Forms, or they click on the form through the calendar, do the assignment, and then it comes right back to my Google Drive with what their answers were. That's where I'm at right now. My goal is, by the end of the summer, I'd like to have that up and running. It's going to be a work in progress, but I'd like to have it up and running for curriculum nights and for the first day of school, because I have a classroom set of Google Chromebooks. I want the students to be on it day one, and curriculum night, I want the parents, I want to do less talking, and I want them to interact with the website because I want them to be able to use that for help.
That's a really good idea.
That's a really good idea.
Introduce that at parent night.
Introduce that at parent night.
And then that way, because then that way, we're all on the same page, and if you have questions, you can go there, and then obviously, if that doesn't help you, then obviously contact me. But I want to make it easier for parents to help their students. So, did I cover all your questions?
You did, definitely.
You did,
Yeah,
definitely.
who's the next guy?
Who's the next guy?
I'm trying to look at names here. How about, is that Michelle? Yeah, Michelle. Yeah, shaking your head. That's you.
Yeah, that's me. I'm in the dark. I'm in my bedroom. The kids are too loud again today. They don't know what time is. For mine, I like using Google, and for that, I'm going to try to make a Google website. And on my Google website, I'd like to have it linked to a calendar that's in a spreadsheet form, so I can say week 1 or week 1, day 1, and I have done all my lessons in a PowerPoint, and I'm hoping to update all my lessons that are connected to my math book that will have embedded, because I took all my PowerPoints and put them into Google, and I'm hoping to take those. I switched them over to Google's PowerPoint so I can embed a video so I don't have to hyperlink it. And from there, put everything on my webpage like Fred said, and mostly make it just for students and if parents want to use it. So if a student is out, they can access any of my PowerPoints, all my worksheets. I can do Google Forms. Right now I'm doing an assessment, and I told the kids if they didn't have a Gmail account to make one, and they're doing PowerPoints and Word documents, and I can go right on. They shared them with me, and I can go right on and fix that. Becca did that in her class that she taught us, and I thought it was really cool, so I'm kind of playing around with that. Right now I'm just playing around. I haven't found anything that I really love and just want to invest a lot of time in. But like Fred and Carrie said, this summer I want to try to get everything done and ready for when school starts. Those are my summer dreams. Sipping on a pina colada while doing it, of course.
Yeah. We'll have a lot less on our shoulders at that time. We'll be able to relax and maybe have a pina colada. Why not? I mean, we're going to be able to relax a little bit. And the whole point of this is have fun, go slow, try to have something ready for the school year. But you know that even when September comes, you're going to change some things around. So we'd like to all have something really solid for September, but we can take a deep breath. The next 2 weeks is going to be really hectic for us, and we're gonna want to take some time off. But once school is over, I think we're gonna hit it a little bit harder. Okay, Michelle,
Yeah.
who's the next person?
We'll do Mark. He looks like he's busy right there.
He's probably drawn or something.
Most likely.
I'm actually getting a guitar ready to paint up for my daughter's birthday. So I'm taking it all apart so I can paint it up for her. She wants to learn. I've been really kind of struggling with the whole website and just trying to come to terms with making something for the sake of making something. And over the weekend, I did find a new program that really intrigued me. It's called Sparkle, and it's a vector-based web design tool that allows you to just drag and drop on the screen. And it's unlike anything I've ever seen. And so there's a 3-day test. It's an $80 program for the Mac. And it really looks cool, and I think it's something that I can use personally. So I'm going to be playing around with that for the next 2 weeks and kind of putting together a site, because I would like to set up a student gallery that each grade level can access their own work, have a place for artist quotes, because art history is one of the things that always seems to get swept underneath the rug, and anything in depth other than a cursory movement. And I think the online environment would be a great ancillary for that problem. Those kids could go on and research and the site could be a starting point for all of that information. I would also like to have an area for artist quotes. One of the things that I was looking at is embedding my class Flickr page, and so that'll run a continuous photo stream on this site. And so I thought that was really a unique thing too. So it's coming together in my head, and now that I'm feeling better and caught up on the class, can sit down each night and do a little bit. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, you're in a situation where you're going pretty much mobile in your apps. You're using a lot of mobile apps, and much of the conversation during this semester has been web-based apps. And if you're using mobile apps, you've got 3 or 4 that you like, then the web-based app, like you said, it just might be creating something for the sake of creating something, and then nobody's got time for that. And you've been working at trying to come up with some just really cool website ideas anyway. So it's neat that I checked out Sparkle. I don't have an Apple, but I did check out the site and I watched the video on it. It does look like a really cool web development tool.
Yeah.
Okay, Mark, choose the next victim.
Who do we have here? Kana? I'm always interested to hear what you have doing. It sounds like you're doing some great stuff.
Okay. For mine right now, I kind of I created a Google Sites webpage, but I wasn't really happy with it, so I dumped it last week, and now I'm in the process of creating a Weebly site, and just trying to upload some of the basic things right now on mine. But my main goals for this summer is to upload a lot of education videos, just with basic things that I'm teaching in the class, and so it's like a site for my kids as well as for my parents, so they have a guide of where they're going with their learning. And then my other site with the Facebook page I'm using right now, and that's that's flourishing right now. Our parents are really excited about it. And for our classroom, parents have to sign up for our program, and so one thing that we did for our kindergarten parents that might be coming to our program, we told them about it so that they can come and see some of our learning in action through our Facebook page. And so that has been a neat experience, because now we're getting a lot of people interested in our class and our program. And so that's one of the big things that I want to keep developing. And then my other thing is looking up more sites as far as like apps for my kids, because we have one-to-one iPad service in our room, and so just some more apps for our kids that are learning based and not just playing around kind of apps. So that's kind of my direction for the next year here.
If they can do Flappy Birds for education, we might have something.
Right. That or Beauty Shop. The kids like that one too.
Yeah, it is really cool. Becca just mentioned down on the side of the screen, it's really cool to see kind of where we started in January to where we are right now. We've come a long way in just opened our eyes, opened our understanding, what's possible, what's out there. You know, this conversation would have been a really quiet, short conversation 3 months ago. But now it's like none of us are 100% sold on what we're going to do. None of us are like, yeah, I've totally got this thing, but we all have this idea of these are the opportunities, these are the things that are possible, and just to have the conversation is just a lot of fun to have. This is really, really cool. Who are you going to choose next?
Let's see.
You know, David, well, one thing, sorry, Kana.
Oh, no, you're all right. That's fine.
And playing on that trip, that tip that it sounds like nobody is completely sold on it. It seems like there's so much out there and things are changing so fast in the mobile and online education that it's like you settle on one thing and then the next day you hear about something, oh my gosh, that is so cool. And so it's just improving incredibly fast. So it's like you settle, and then you're like, now I got to try this. So
if it makes you feel better, last year $1 billion was invested in educational technology. This year $2 billion will be invested in new educational technologies. That is a ton of cash. In 2009, it was 86 million.
South by Southwest had the big music. They also have an startup night, and that was 90% of all the meetings were for mobile education.
Right. It's the single biggest area for investment outside of medicine in America today is education. So yeah, we're going to be having our minds blown consistently month by month for the next 2 to 5 years. And there's a lot of people trying to figure out what can we do? How can we do it quickly? How can we meet these kids' needs? It's going to be neat. One of the things that everyone said on the questionnaire that I sent is the student is the #1 focus for everything that we're doing. And parents is something that's been mentioned a lot here tonight. And I don't know what it means, but nobody has said we're doing this for our administrators. So it's just kind of interesting. This is a really student-focused course, and it's just a really student-focused movement, this blended learning. And parents are also benefiting because they've been able to look over the kids' shoulders. But yeah, you're right, Mark. We're going to see a lot more. Okay, Kana, who's next?
I think everybody is gone that I can see right now.
Let's see who's on the side. Is Rachel here? Fred here? We have a small group tonight.
Yes.
That's too bad. This has been a really fun conversation to have. Very exciting. Becca, we've got about 12 minutes left. We've covered universal design for learning, online assessment, how we do need to be aware that some students might cheat. And did you guys just lose my camera? Because I think I just turned into a big dot. Okay, I think we'll go. So we looked at universal design for learning, trying to meet all students' needs. Assessment online has its benefits and its drawbacks. Students can sometimes cheat. And sometimes in-class assessments can even be more powerful. It depends on what your needs are. And then we've talked about our sites that are just really exciting. This has been so fun to hear this conversation happen. And then to see what our plans are moving forward. It's just going to be fun. This is not going to end. We are at the beginning, and we have a little bit of a jump on many of our colleagues who imagine our colleagues not having this conversation, not even knowing that this conversation exists. That's true for many, and we're going to be having conversations with people, pointing them to tools, pointing them to concepts, and we're going to be the ones moving this ball forward within our own school buildings and our own districts. So really cool. We've come a long way, and we're going to be pushing this ball forward in little steps as we go. And other teachers are going to look at you, and students are going to look at you and say, "What are we doing? What are you doing? And how can you lead me to move to do it myself?" So we're going to be ambassadors, as it were, to our colleagues over the next 2-3 years. I know, Becca, you mentioned you want to say some stuff here at the end. You've got a full 12 minutes. What's on your mind? You can talk about whatever you want here.
Hi guys, it's been an amazing virtual as always. It's always great to meet up with everyone. I get to hear everything and see everything. I was kind of out searching sites as everybody brought stuff up, and pretty much everything that was mentioned in the chat and any resources you brought up, I added those as a YouTube link to this virtual. So you've got a lot of videos to look at. If you want to know more about Socrative, Edmodo's been mentioned before, so I posted some of tutorial videos for that. What else? Mentioned a few other things. Screencast-O-Matic is really easy to use and free if you want to do a screencasting tool, and then a few other things. I wanted to take you guys on a virtual tour of just some layout changes in the course. Some of you may have noticed that you're able to access your grade report now on your own. Has everyone had a chance to do that? Okay, good. I just wanted to make sure everyone knew how to find that, so I'll quickly go over that so when people who aren't with us tonight view that, they know how to get to that. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And to share your screen, this is happening in chat. If you hover over the left-hand side of your screen, the third button down is a green button with an arrow, and it just simply says screen share when you hover over it. When you click that, your screen is going to start blinking and looking really crazy, and that just means you're in screen share mode, and then you can click on any tab across the top to go to a website or share your screen that you have in front of you. So it's pretty easy, and then to get out of it, you just simply hover again and unclick it when you're done. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and take us into the course. And can someone give me an audio? Can you see my screen?
No.
No? Okay, hold on. Let's try that again. Can you see it now?
There we go.
Okay. So
I see me.
Oh, you see you. Okay.
There we go. Now I'm back.
Okay. So the first thing I added here is this BLiC countdown widget. Not to freak anyone out, but it is a nice reminder of how many days and hours and minutes and seconds you have left, and that everything is due by midnight on May 9th. So you can see that every time you log in. A few things is under your administration area, and I'll switch my role to participant so it looks like what you're seeing. Under that area, you should see a section that says grades. Now, if you have your administration tab over here, same thing. You just click that, click on grades, and you're going to be able to see your overview report. When you're looking at your report, you're paying attention to the actual item, the grade that was given, whether it was complete, exemplary, acceptable, a score of some sort, and any feedback that we've provided you over the course. And then one thing that I did, one of the biggest complaints I heard, is that these are not listed in order of the modules. So I actually went back through and coded every single item in all modules so that you could see that OR is orientation, anything that says M3 is module 3. So you can kind of see that they're not in order. Here are some module 1 items. You can see what module every single thing fit into for the most part. I've got to go through and do the module 8 items. Those are not coded yet because we did not have access to it yet. But I think I got everything coded up through module 7. So hopefully that will help you see where you're at, what you're missing, and what you still need to complete. And I really hope that that helps you kind of keep things organized. The other thing is in the beginning of the course, under course communication and resources, I've really kind of updated that quite a bit. We still have latest news, course questions, and social networking, of course. One thing that I added recently is in our BLiC Tech Tool resources, I went ahead and added the course calendar link there. I also added the time log in case you have to download that again and update it. I also added the tracking form, another sheet in case you need to download that and redo it or fill it in. This is where the virtual attendance form lives as well. And then there are lots of other things too. You guys have been posting some items in here of resources that you like. We've got Gallery Picasso Head, Google Guru, Rushton Hurley, a few other things posted there. So that's just kind of an overall BLiC Tech Tools and Resources area. One thing I've had a question of over and over again is I want to see more examples. So this actually was in the orientation module, and I pulled it out of there and I put it right up here so that you could see examples of blended learning by level. And there are lots of different websites and whatnot that you can look at. If you haven't had a chance to check those out and you're still really struggling with finding a way to integrate that into your grade level or content area, make sure you look over there. And then, let's see, this was something I just learned about in our follow-up training. I like this function because so many times during office hours, I'll get a personal email from someone. What I can do with this chat room is someone can click on this, post a question in the chat room, and then if that's a question that other people are having, I can save that and post it in latest course questions, or it's live chat. So that's kind of a neat way instead of going through Gmail. So we only have a few more office hours left, but do know you can post a question ahead of time, and I will respond to you during my office hours, so on and so forth. So just a few quick things to follow up on Module 7. In Module 7, probably a really cool thing, if you haven't had a chance yet, is you're actually going to take the Smarter Balance Practice and Training Test. So if you hadn't had a chance to see what that looks like, that's a great experience and pretty intense, because you'll start to really understand what kinds of questioning your students are going to encounter and the format of the actual assessment itself. So that is actually under summative assessments after you get through your formative assessment process. So I think you'll enjoy that, even though it might blow your mind a bit if you haven't taken one of those already. And then in Module 8, I added a little bit more depth as well in one of the items. Excuse me. So in Module 8, this is really your reflection module. You do have a big project to complete in Module 8, and this is your final project. You're actually going to create a portfolio of sorts, and I put the entire activity description right in here so you can read that now and start thinking about it. But basically, you're going to create for this last module, and this is the big project for Module 8, you're going to create a multimedia presentation in any manner of your choice describing your blended learning environment and your experience in the course. And so there's a list of things you need to include, and then for those of you that really need to see some examples, if you click on here, I've linked it to the area in the site. Oh, sorry. No, I haven't. I will link it to the area in our site. It's actually in course orientation. Let me go back up there. In course orientation, at the very end of course orientation, there are these video resources. If you want to see previous participants' blended learning portfolios, that's where they're at. They're in the orientation model at the end of the orientation part. So here's the lesson menu, several former BLiC participants' portfolios, and many of them have been posted. Some are YouTube videos, some are Prezis. There's some down here. They actually posted mine, which was a haiku deck. There's a few PowerPoints, some are PDF. So check those out, and you can kind of just look through those to kind of figure out how you want to do your portfolio in reflection, and that's Module 8. Other than that, the final thing that you'll do in this course is after Module 8, you're actually going to do a course closure, and that's your final paperwork. And our whole module our whole virtual next week will be about all of the paperwork items that you need to take care of. After we talk more about Module 8, we'll talk about the paperwork and what you need to submit and all the surveys you need to fill out in order to get your hours, and we'll just make sure and walk you through that, because if you miss even one element of that, you do not get credit. So we want to make sure you're all set. So I'm going to go ahead and switch back. And take any questions. Does anyone have any questions or comments? I'm noticing Michelle, let's see, Mark says, I was really surprised with the Smarter Balance test. I took the 7th grade ELA. I did the math, and I knew it was hard where that was located again to see examples in Module 8. Okay. So, any questions, comments on what I just shared? Well, good.
Wait, I have a question. Where was that example for Module 8 where you can see past examples? I didn't see it because it's really blurry on my screen.
So the easiest place to look is go back into course orientation. And at the very bottom of your course orientation module, there's like a case study section. and it's the second link. I'll relink it for you.
Okay.
Yeah, I tried to do an internal link from Module 8 back to the course orientation. I did not have the correct link in there, so.
Well, it was just so small on the screen I couldn't see it. That's why I heard it, but I couldn't see it. Okay, thanks.
But yeah, it'll give you an idea of kind of what to shoot for. So yeah, well, it's 8:01, and it's funny because in our follow-up as instructors, they said, who's still having virtuals where, people are actually coming? And we said, we get at least 5 every time. And they were like, whoa. So I guess that's great. I mean, I know David and I like to have every single one of you in here all the time, but it's great for those of you who are able to show up every week, and for those of you listening live online, welcome, even though we can't see you. So thank you for that dedication, and I hope it's contributed to your BLiC experience.
Sounds like you've got someone knocking on the back door there. Okay, we're going to wrap this up. It's been really great. 2 things to remember. May 9th, next Friday, your time logs are due, as well as the other paperwork. And next Sunday, we have a virtual again at 7 o'clock, and Becca's going to be running that to let you know what all the paperwork is that you need to have done. So we'll see you in a week. Have a great week, you guys. We're going to go ahead and click it off. If you want to talk to me afterwards, I'm going to be here for a while, so you can ask me any questions online, too. You can hit me up at my email account. So talk to you then. Have a good night, you guys.